the fuck's a Zorzal?
I guess it's a saw that saws all. That's not the point of the story.
I guess it's a saw that saws all.
Hey guys, welcome to Wait What Season 3, Episode 4. It's Vitamin J here today.
You so stumbled on what episode we were on.
Yes, I did.
You were like, Season 4. It's just like trying to think about it at the same time. Yeah, Vitamin J's here, man.
Yeah.
I like this. I've done this to you a few times in the past, but like we've never brought it up. But hopefully the whole of this season we can carry on talking about it.
Well, I mean, the pressure's on you.
It really is, yeah. As I said to you earlier, or yesterday, or
weeks ago,
to keep the veil up, 1 week ago, and also 2 weeks ago, Vitamin J is like the only thing I can think of at the moment. But I will get more, and by will get more, I have to think of one in the next, however long it takes us to record this, and then definitely not 1 week later. How are you? You all right?
I am fantastic, my friend.
Oh, I'm bloody glad to hear that.
I have had my first haircut since lockdown.
Oh, right. I do need to tell the listeners though how glorious your long hair was.
My mane.
The thing, it literally was. Yeah. What people don't know is that Johnny used to have that traditional emo haircut where it was a lot of fringe, a lot of everything. Actually.
Oh yes, yeah.
But it was glorious. It suited you. You looked fucking fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
No, I'm dead serious there.
You're too kind.
But when you came around for the barbecue and took your hat off, I was like, take your hat off. I was like suddenly telling you to take things off. I was like, take your sunglasses off. And then your girlfriend was wearing them. And I was like, now take your hat off. You did. He stopped at the pants.
Yeah.
It's really upsetting.
Well, you know.
Gotta keep some modesty in you.
Occasionally.
Occasionally. Get one more beer in me. One beer in, one dick out. Oh, fuck. Okay. Yeah, your hair looks marvellous. And I haven't seen it yet, sure.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's all my lockdown weight gone.
It's like, that's it. I've lost about a stone there.
Yeah, it feels like
I'm pretty sure I was the same, and I definitely lost some. I think I must have lost like a pound of hair. Because it was pretty fucking long, man. Pretty fucking long. Should we do the episode?
Oh, I suppose.
All right. 2 words per story. Tell me what you've got.
Okay, I've got a boundary dispute and sex education.
Oh, I have 3D nugs and entitled Karen.
Ooh.
So, what do you think about that?
Wow, I was actually almost going to have a Karen story today.
Oh, bro, we should have doubled down on the Karen. Imagine if we doubled down on the old Kazza. That'd have been great.
Poor Kazza.
Poor Kazza. My girlfriend's mum's called Karen. But she's not a Karen. She is called Karen, but she's not a Karen. I was, you know when when stereotypes go too far.
Mm.
I genuinely, when I learned her name, was like, don't be an actual Karen. But obviously before I met her, and then I met her, and she's lovely. But at first, I was like, what if she's an actual Karen? What if she's one of these internet Karens? And she's not. She's a normal, lovely Karen.
Well, that's good.
It was a whole weight off of my mind. Okay, who wants to go first?
All right, I'll go first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, bud.
So we'll start with the boundary dispute. In Dover Foxcroft in Maine, a man has cut his neighbour's garage in half.
Shit, I hope the car wasn't inside.
I mean,
I own half of this Ford Fiesta now.
Judging by the story, he could have, because he used a sawzall. So,
a what?
A sawzall. It's sawzall.
Okay. Now, a saw.
Zall.
No, right. You fucking atted me with the fucking Shiba Doodle, right? But like, at least you knew that was an animal. The most I've got is that this is some form of like vicious tool.
Yeah, it's called...
Right now, you're being the vicious tool. What the fuck's a Zorzal?
I guess it's a saw that saws all. That's not the point of the story.
I guess it's a saw that saws all. Fucking hell. How's it spelled?
Sawzall.
Sawzall. It saws all. Oh, okay. I think it's so it's a reciprocating saw. Right, okay. So that's the brand. Nice. Okay. I was just like, the way you were saying it was like it was a thing, not a brand, and that I'm an idiot for not knowing.
I mean, I've never heard of it. I've just read it here. So.
Okay, so it's a reciprocating saw for anyone that knows what they are.
I'm sure our listeners know what it is and think we're just idiots.
No one knows what a fucking... If you know what a Sawzall was, right, and you're not American, right, throwing it out there now, because every place I've seen that you can buy them currently is all American. All the brands we have in the UK aren't Sawzall. Yeah, if you know what that is and you think we're an idiot, take a couple of steps back there, mate, because, we're not idiots. This time. Sometimes, yes.
Most of the time.
This time, no. Carry on with your saw that saws all.
Okay, so...
That's the best thing you've ever said. I really needed that. It's late here. We're recording at 10:15 at night.
Well, it would have
apparently I hit puberty midway through that sentence.
It would have been 9:30, but you texted me and said, ready? And I went, yes. And you went, okay, I'm going to have a shower. So...
Well, yesterday we went for, when we finished recording yesterday, that was actually 2 weeks ago. I went out and we went to run like 5K or more, and then we ran just over 5 miles. So we were out for a while, and we came back, and my other half had a shower, and then I looked at the time, and we've got a really strong shower pump because when I brought the new shower, it was a rain head, so I wanted to up the pressure. And it doesn't make... I'm not sure it makes a load of noise next door, but it makes noise. And it was like 10:20. So I was like, I'm not going to be that dick that starts... that has like a 15-20 minute shower at 10:30 when the shower pump is like in the airing cupboard in our bedroom.
Fair enough.
And then you just hear... So I was like, I'm not going to do that. So when I finished working out tonight and we made our own pizzas, then the pizzas were still cooking while we were doing the quiz. And then the quiz finished and I was like, I have to shower. I actually stank. So, Sawzall.
All right. Gabriel Braun used a land surveyor's demarcation between the two lots as a guide to remove the half of the building sitting on his land when a dispute over the boundary line boiled over. Tracy Braun said that her husband's actions on the day after Memorial Day marked the latest and they hope the final step of an often contentious relationship between her family, others in the neighbourhood, and various inhabitants of 148 Grove Street in recent years. So what it sounds like is that this house that Tracy and Gabriel Braun live in was his childhood home.
Right.
And at some point in the past, his parents had allowed the neighbours to build something that was, I guess, encroaching on their land. That neighbour has since died, and then their children and various other people that it's been rented to have just caused lots of issues. So,
bastards.
Yeah. So the Brauns tried to actually purchase the property to try and resolve all this earlier on. But
I'm a little bit annoyed that the neighbours aren't called the Brains. Carry on.
No, they're called the Ritters. So after the guy died in late 2016, Ritter's wife took over sole ownership of the property. She was an infrequent resident and rented it out to various people. And it says here, when the dad, Steve Ritter, was alive, this was a perfect place to live. As soon as that poor man passed away, this place turned to craziness and chaos.
Shit, Steve was holding everything together.
He was. It's something about the name, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's better though when the name's longer.
Steve.
That's correct. Yeah, I knew that was coming. As I said it, I was like, oh, I've walked into that.
Yes, you did. The property line dispute gained momentum in April when the Brawns put down a load of wood chips near the previously established boundary in order for a tractor to travel with a downhill grade to the back of their lot to clean up downed tree limbs. Steve Ritter's youngest son, Blake, soon planted a stake in the ground where the chips had been placed. He said, "This is our
So he had steak and chips.
Yes.
His back garden was full of steak and chips. Is that what you're saying?
All right, we know what this episode's going to be called.
Do we? I'm editing it. We don't know.
Fine. We know what it'd be called if I was editing it. All right. So, so he put a stake down and said, "This is our property. Get your stuff off of it." And they called a land surveyor. The surveyor determined that the dividing line was actually in the middle of their driveway and right through the middle of the garage. And they did get a second opinion on that, which was the same. Apparently, the day the surveyor came, the tenants that were there at the time packed up and moved out.
Right.
And then by Memorial Day, he had pretty much had enough. One of the sons, just as the younger Ritter, asked if he could retrieve his father's ashes from the 148 Grove Street garage. And they said, "Please do. We want our property back. We've been paying taxes on it and, they're gaining the benefit from it." But he went over there and started throwing trash all over the place and smashing glass and just dumping rubbish outside.
I hope he only did that on their half. As if he put masking tape down along the floor to mark out where his half was, and then went, just kick all the shit over there.
Yeah. So that was the last straw. And the next day, Gabriel, who works in construction and has a sawzall, cut the garage in half and just dumped everything on their half on their side of the line.
Okay.
Apparently, that property's been vacant since, so they're hoping this is just the end of it. I will send you a picture because it is.
Yes, please do.
It is very neat.
I dread the day that I have terrible neighbours.
Yeah,
I've not had any yet.
I'm gonna just pop the link to the thing in the chat so you can have a look at the garage because
for me, when I moved in, the person that lived next door to me wasn't I met them. And then he was like, "Oh yeah, we're moving out." And I was like, "Fuck." I was like, "Okay." And then he sold it to his friends who happened to now they've moved out since, but they are still friends of mine. And I got lucky,
Yeah.
The wife worked for Fender, so I was like, "Oh, guitars." And then the husband's a drummer in a band, so I was like, "Ah, perfect." couldn't work out any better. And we have good neighbors now too. But we've been so lucky, to have 3 sets of neighbors in the time that I've lived in this house, and none of them be shit.
Yeah, I think you're lucky you've only got neighbors on one side as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Also, it's mainly lucky because I now have a very large threshold for not getting angry, but the point that goes over, there's no line that I won't cross. So I very much don't want to have a neighborly dispute ever in my life because I'll be the one that you see getting put in the back of a car because I thought it was okay to start knocking the house down with a sledgehammer, just taking down next door's house. Not as neatly as that garage, though.
I know, it's amazing, right?
Yeah, I mean, that really does Sawzall.
Yeah, it does.
Wow, that is pretty fucking neat. Damn.
What do you have, Stephen?
A bit of a headache. But mainly, this headline. KFC moves to add 3D printed chicken nuggets with lab-grown meat to its menu.
Interesting.
If you're craving chicken nuggets, perhaps I can interest you in some 3D printed ones from KFC. The fast food restaurant chain has officially announced it's partnering with Russian research laboratory 3D Printing Solutions to develop technology for what is called meat of the future, or in other words, lab-produced chicken nuggets. What do you think about this? Would you eat a 3D printed nug?
I feel like I would have to try one.
Exactly how I feel, yeah.
But at the same time, I'm just kind of thinking of, I don't know what it's exactly made of, but I'm just thinking of mushed up actual chicken and then just being squirted out a tube.
Oh, like a toothpaste tube full of chicken.
It's like, remember years ago there was that post going around and it was, I think it was like from Teletubbies. It was like the Tubby custard, and people were saying like, "Oh, this is the chicken they use in like
Yeah,
chicken nuggets and
yeah, I
McDonald's."
remember
And
that.
I picture it like that.
Well, I will read on to give you some more deeps. Not only will this be the first of its kind, but the nuggets will apparently look and taste a lot like KFC's original chicken, which, I mean, that's helpful. Otherwise, you're not going to sell many of them. We've got 3D nugs. They're shit, but we're selling them. Producing 3D printed chicken is also more environmentally friendly than standard meat. So how is this possible? Well, I'll tell you. Well, I won't. Mashable will. According to the press release, 3D bioprinting solutions is working on developing additive bioprinting technology using chicken cells and plant material, allowing it to reproduce the taste and texture of chicken meat. So it'll basically be like some bits of chicken, some chickeny cells, and then basically plant. So it sounds less like bad things are coming now.
Yeah.
With the bioprinting method, you can still incorporate all of the same micronutrients you get from eating chicken, but without including a bunch of additives used in traditional farming and agriculture. So you can rest assured that it's a lot healthier for you. It's also more ethical, seeing as there aren't any, I was going to say many, like they've made chickens print the chicken nuggets. There aren't any animals being harmed in the process. I mean, so the micronutrients bit is like what got me. You know, I'm like with my macros.
Yep.
I'm not going to KFC anyway, right? Because especially not while I'm like kind of like cutting at the moment before I go into a lean bulk. I'd go to KFC and be like, right, well, that's my food for the entire day. So, but every now and then you want to go and have a little cheat meal. But I still want to keep my protein high for the day, and I wouldn't hit up a KFC and have 3D printed nugs if it was nothing but like carbs and fat.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. The push for the 3D printed stems are from the growing trend of meat alternatives like Beyond Meat and Impossible Foods. Have you ever had any Beyond Meat stuff?
I don't think I have.
I think that's who. I think Bird's Eye have signed up with Beyond Meat, or have teamed up with Beyond Meat for one of their burgers.
Oh, okay.
It's meant to be incredible.
Yeah, I've heard of them. I've heard good things.
So there's yet a restaurant to create its own version of the alternative meat product, and it looks like KFC is taking the leap. It's important to note, however, that KFC mentions that the 3D printed nugs, I'm shortening that one, consists of plant materials and chicken cells. So it wouldn't be vegetarian or vegan.
Right.
I mean, it's borderline vegetarian. It depends on how you're feeling about that. I can't pick. By the definition, it's not vegetarian, but would a vegetarian person eat one if it was just literally a little bit of chicken cells to recreate the texture of it and a little bit of the flavor? I don't know. So if you're vegetarian, you'll likely want to do some research before diving into ordering one of these nugs. Nugs are good, man. If I could actually dive into nuggets, like a pool of nugs, I might break something, but I'd eat my way out of that pool.
I wish we could do the unlimited nug challenge
I was
again.
just thinking that exact same thing, yeah. That was a lot of nugs.
It was.
Between me and you, we ate 83.
Yeah.
No, 84. I had 44 nugs. You had 40.
Yep.
Damn.
Good
and then
time.
a man rubbed my belly. That's the weirdest. TGI Friday. No, it wasn't. It was Frankie Benny's. Frankie Benny's. Sort your fucking staff out. I ate 44 chicken nuggets, and they're big chicken nuggets there. They're not like the little incy-wincy ones you get from fucking Mackie D's. But a man rubbed my belly afterwards and said, I reckon you've got more room for more. Which would have been true if he'd rubbed one more time, because I'm pretty sure I would have thrown up on him. I think you've got a... Oh, yeah, actually, I'll have another plate, mate. Thanks. That was great, though. We went out for lunch from work, didn't we?
Yeah.
We were gone for like an hour and 45 minutes or something stupid. It was a fucking great day.
Well, it was practically like the whole department, wasn't it?
Did the head of the department come?
No, I think he may have been on holiday or something.
I don't think he was in.
No.
Yeah. The only person that was a manager at the time was the guy that used to have the job that I have now.
Yeah, I mean, he was with us, so...
He was like the fattest guy there, and he ate like 20 nugs.
I think...
He's one of those faux fat guys.
Yeah. Yeah, he was one of the lower numbers, definitely.
Yeah, he was, yeah. Yeah, what a bastard. Anyway, that is all I have to say about 3D printed nugs. I will try them when they come out.
Yeah, I think I will as well.
Maybe we can try them together.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's have some 3D printed nug love.
Beautiful.
Beautiful indeed. Now, you have another story, and I don't remember what it was about because I was partially listening at the beginning of this episode.
So this was actually something that we posted to Instagram a while back, and thought it might be good to go into a bit more detail on it. So,
okay. Yes, now I know what we're talking about.
Yep, got it. So a new book has been written by a nurse and health visitor, which details encounters she's had with members of the public over the years. And one of these in particular, which caught my eye, was a married couple who had waited some years for children, but didn't realize that they needed to have sex.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a lot to say about this that isn't terrible.
Yeah.
So you just keep reading.
So the author is Rachel Hearson, and she's been a nurse and health visitor for 40 years. And yeah, she reveals in this book that she once worked with a couple who didn't know how to make babies. She told your favorite publication, The Mirror.
Oh, The Mirror. Where all good news stories go to die.
Yeah. They had been married for some years, but children hadn't come along. And the GP deduced that they
She was expecting a knock on the door one day.
Well, I mean, you
And
know,
then the stalk just flies off.
yeah, exactly.
Hello, mother. Hello, father. I'm your very British daughter. Fucking hell.
The GP deduced that they didn't know how to make babies, and then it was Rachel's job to ensure that they did.
So she fucked the husband. This is how it happens.
She said they genuinely thought that babies arrived as a result of simply being married and had no clue. And then she goes on to say, teaching someone about sex is quite a responsibility, but within a couple of visits, the pair couldn't keep their hands off each other.
What the actual fuck?
Oh, I don't know.
When you first said to me, like, oh, this is what I'm going to post out, the first time I heard it, I was like, I can't get my head around that.
Yeah.
There's certain things in the world that people do that I just can't justify. Sometimes someone does something really stupid and you're just like, all right, well, if you didn't know about that, then fair enough. It's maybe a thought you would have, not many people would, but I can see maybe how they got onto that thought process.
Yeah.
But like, what? Right, this is the main thought that I have on this, okay? When your friends want a child, yeah, whether they've had that child or they're still in the process of like banging 74 times a day, but only when the time is right, you will hear the sentence either, oh, we tried so hard for a baby, or we're trying for a baby, or something like that, right?
Yeah. So
how had this couple never heard that and not realized that the trying part meant that they had to do something? Like, unless they did hear that and they were just going, baby, 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 just at home staring at each other.
They just like prepare everything, waiting for the arrival, and they're like, "Oh, we've tried so hard. We've repainted. We've got a new crib. Everything's child locked. I can't get into the fridge.
I've lost a stone." Oh my god, it's I don't know. I don't know what to tell. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
The book's called Handle with Care: True Confessions of an NHS Health Visitor. And I'm sure it's full of other wonderful stories too.
I feel like after this, you need to send me a link to that on Amazon because I'm trying to get back into reading stuff again.
Oh, okay.
Well, like the thing is, I'm a fast reader, and it takes me like 20, 30 pages to get back into the rhythm of reading quickly.
Yeah.
But I can take everything in, and at the moment, I've just not been reading. Like when we last went on holiday, those many, many years ago that it seems now, when realistically, 4 times last year I went to a different country. 3 of them were all in the space of like 2.5 months. That was great, wasn't it? Do you remember that? I was out of the office for basically a total of like nearly 2 months, and in that 2 months I had 8 days at work.
Yeah.
That was great. But no, I read when we were away, and I had like a 300, 400 page book, and we were away for 2 weeks. And like I think we're like 5 or 6 days in, and I was just like, well, that's all the book gone. But luckily at this point, I got into podcasts, so that was all right.
Yeah.
I have so many books on like learning how to be a deductionist. And do you know what a deductionist is?
Someone who deduces.
Yeah, you know the skill that like Sherlock had.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically his character was based on like two people, one of which was a medical doctor that Arthur Conan Doyle had.
Right.
And it was said that he was able to walk into a room full of patients and diagnose half of them before even speaking to them, based on just how they were dressed, how they held themselves, the way they were walking, and things like that. So I'm reading a book on that at the moment, and then I've got it's like a full book on body language and how to like read into different things.
Okay.
Because I'm really interested in that. But then I feel like I might need something a bit funny after that, because that's a lot of learning.
Yeah.
So after this, send me that shit. I want it.
I will do.
Thanks, man. Now it's time for a Karen story.
Perfect.
I would like to state out, first of all, not all Karens are a Karen. And for any Karens out there that are offended by the term a Karen, be careful. You might end up being a Karen. So, chill. This story comes from the reliable source of Reddit.
Perfect. I love a bit of Reddit.
But the way that this reads, I feel like it happened. So it's from the magical land of the USA.
Of course it is.
Yeah, be careful. Over about 60% of our listenership is in the USA.
I love America.
It's the best. But I'm having a video call tomorrow with Jim and Lauren from America. So that'd be good. I'm not doing it until like 8:30, 9 o'clock our time, because they're in Florida. So that'd be like 5 hours behind.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to read the post to you. Douchebagette didn't like my answer to her questions. Strong start. Douchebagette didn't like the answers to her questions, even though I was relentlessly honest. I'd called into a large supermarket to pick up birthday candles. He'd already brought the cake, clearly. Or he forgot something very, very vital. I first saw the woman being very rude to another customer for no apparent reason. Imagine Rush Limbaugh in drag. Sorry to put that in your head. She was just impatient, and the other customer wasn't moving fast enough for her liking, so she was insulting her. She definitely ranked above arsehole, so that's why let's call her Douchebagette, or DB for short. As she turned, I saw the missile lock in her eyes as she spotted me. She dragged her way over, and so I decided to enjoy it and settled on being deadpan and literal as a plan. So I looked away. DB, Douchebagette. Excuse me? Me? Why? What have you done? I hope this happened, because it's fucking amazing. DB, what? She paused for a second, looking like a dog that had been shown a card trick, and then angrily asked, can you help me? Me. I couldn't possibly know. I don't know what you want. DB, where do you keep your eyelash curlers? Me. I don't keep them anywhere. DB, yes you do. I've seen them before. Me. I certainly don't. I've never owned any. My eyelashes managed to bend all on their own. I'm more than happy with the bendiness of my eyelashes. DB, huh? What? No, you idiot. I mean the shop. We're in the shop at eyelash curlers. Me, I haven't got a clue. DB, why not? Me, I refer you to my previous answer. I never use them. DB, are you trying to be stupid? Me, no, it's effortless. DB, this is insane. Are you going to find out where the eyelash curlers are, or would you prefer that I speak to your manager? Me, I'd say neither, but if I had to choose, I'd go for option B. DB, you want me to speak to your manager? Me, no. She shakes her head in angry confusion and says, but you just said you did. Me, no, I didn't. You asked me which I'd prefer. If I was offered a rectal exam or a slap in the face, I definitely don't want either, but I prefer the second to the first. See how that works? This is a phrase I use with my wife when she gives me shitty alternatives. She stood in silence for a few seconds with her mouth open, with the deepest frown. Then she built up to a shout with, this is ridiculous! Me, I completely agree. DB, where is your manager? Me, I'm not entirely sure, but my guess would be at home with his family. DB, oh, you're being so stupid. Who supervises you in this store right now? She actually stamped her foot twice when she screamed, right now. Me, nobody. DB, what? Why not? Me, because I don't need supervision. I haven't needed supervision in the shop since I was about 9. DB, oh my God, it's like talking to a wall. I could see that her shouting had attracted a member of management. She was approaching quickly. DB, why aren't you helping me? Me, why would I? I think I saw a slight hint of understanding spread across her face. DB, you do work here, don't you? Me, no. DB, then why didn't you fucking say so? Me, you didn't ask me until now. The manager arrived just as douchebagette shouted in my face, "You're a fucking moron!" Manager to DB, "Madam, please lower your voice and stop swearing. There are children in the store." Manager to me, "What's happening, sir?" Me, "I'm not really sure. This woman was being rude to another customer, and then she approached me and started to interrogate me about personal grooming habits. She wasn't happy with my answers, and she started to spit shout at me." DB, "That's not fucking true. I was shouting because I thought he worked here." Manager, "Whether he was an employee or not, you can't talk like that. You can't abuse customers. We have a strict policy about abuse towards staff. We don't tolerate it." DB, "It's not my fault. He's a fucking idiot. If he had..." She was interrupted by the manager. Manager, "Please stop shouting." The manager pressed the transmit on the radio and said, "Security, urgent, code 4, aisle 14. Manager to me, "Are you okay, sir?" Me, "Yes, I'm fine. I just needed birthday candles. Could you tell me where they were?" DB, "What the hell is going on?" Valid point at this, to be fair. First sentence that DB has said that I agree with. Manager to DB, "Stop shouting. Stop swearing. If I have to warn you again, you'll have to leave the store." Manager turns to me. "They're on aisle 22. Me, "Okay, thank you." I start to walk away. Meanwhile, DB still shouting. Two security staff turn the corner, past me on their way to DB. I could hear her shouting for another 30 seconds. The next time I saw DB, she was standing at the self-checkout. She was being followed out of the store by security staff. She was complaining into her phone, loudly but unclearly, about the shop, the staff, and some fucking moron. And she left empty-handed. Do you think the moron was me? I was wishing so hard for her to look left and see me, but she didn't. If she had shouted at me, regardless of what she had said, I was going to raise my little box of candles and say, "Yes, thanks, I found them." The whole thing was so funny, I almost broke and nearly started laughing when she stamped her foot in time with "right now." I've been mistaken for staff dozens of times, and I've never had it go perfectly. Probably never will again. Don't expect a sequel. How incredible is that?
That's amazing.
I think you'd enjoy that.
Oh, I hope that's true. I just love douche baguette.
The douche baguette. So yeah, there's that.
Wow.
You're welcome. There's nothing to discuss about that at all. I just think it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I agree.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I think I might bring more Reddit stories to this.
Yeah, definitely.
I saw that one on Bored Panda, which is not what you were while listening to that.
Oh, complete opposite.
Yeah, Excited Panda. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that. I hope all the listeners enjoyed that. And on that hilarious story, because I haven't got anything funnier to say than what I read, I think we should end. Thanks for listening, people. Jono, thanks for joining me. And we'll speak to you and totally each other next week. Bye.
Bye.